watching out for you. This is a special presentation of KEZI 9 News. Your voice, your vote, 2014.
Tonight, Oregonians on the verge of making history. This election, voters face some big decisions about the state's future on their ballots, including who will lead us for the next 4 years, plus Measure 91, which could legalize recreational marijuana, and Measure 92, which could require the labeling of genetically modified food. Thank you for staying up with us tonight for this special edition of KEZI 9 News here at 11. We have live team coverage of the issues that all affect you, including those two big local measures. Sarah Hurwitz is live with the latest on the renewal of a $40 million levy for Eugene 4J School District. Stacy Kafka standing by live in Springfield, where voters are deciding on a $71.5 million bond for schools there. And we also have reaction to Measure 91, the marijuana legalization. But first, let's get to the big races here in Oregon, starting with the race for the governor's seat. Incumbent Governor John Kitzhaber has served 3 terms. 4 would be a record here in Oregon. His main competition, Republican state lawmaker Dennis Richardson. Take a look at the numbers here. You can see John Kitzhaber will hold on to his office for that historic 4th term. He claimed 49% of the votes. Both men talk tonight. Take a listen.
We're fighting for the belief that we can lift up the entire community and that we don't have to leave anyone behind. We're fighting for the belief that every Oregonian should have an equal opportunity to be successful. And we're fighting for the belief that there is no place better than the state of Oregon to lead us into a better future.
Republican challenger Dennis Richardson says he is not giving up quite yet while those numbers are still being counted.
There's nothing that I like better than to have the Oregonian already call it for Kitzhaber when they're showing 5%, and now the spread is down to 2%, and the late ballots are coming in our direction. So it ain't over till it's over.
Election polls leading up to the election show that Kitzhaber maintained a lead over Richardson the entire time. This was despite controversy over Kitzhaber's girlfriend, Sylvia Hayes. There is a current investigation into whether consulting work violated federal laws. They will not be released until well after results are final. Let's go now to Oregon's race for U.S. Senate. Senator Jeff Merkley running for his 2nd term. He assumed that office in 2009. His main competitor, Republican Dr. Monica Webby. As you can see, Merkley easily won, carrying 55% of the vote. Over to the U.S. House. First, the 4th District Democratic Representative Peter DeFazio looking to get reelected. 2014 is DeFazio's 15th election as U.S. Congressman. His main competitor, Republican Art Robinson, he only carried 38%. That was more than 20 points behind the Democrat, Peter DeFazio. Now to the 5th District, where Representative Kurt Schrader is seeking re-election. He has served 3 terms so far, and Schrader won 55%. He took that 39% for Tootie Smith. And now we're going to go to one of the biggest state measures, Measure 91. That's the legalization of recreational marijuana. If it's passed, it would legalize recreational marijuana for people ages 21 and older, allowing adults to possess up to 8 ounces of dried marijuana and up to 4 plants, while setting up sales regulations throughout the Oregon Liquor Control Commission. Take a look at the latest numbers here. 54% of Oregon voters voted yes, 46 voted no. So this looks like it will carry. Oregon will become the 3rd state in the union to legalize marijuana. And we are now moving to the measure for GMOs, Measure 92. It was labeling GMOs here. It would make that legal here. It would require all stores, all labelers to go ahead and put that on the labels if those foods are in fact genetically modified. You see right now that did not pass. If these numbers hold through the night, 51% of Oregon voters said no, 49% said yes. So if this holds true, GMOs will not be required here in Oregon. Measure 88 would approve the Oregon driver card. That card would provide Oregon residents a driver's license without providing proof or requiring proof of legal presence in the U.S. This, not even close here. 67% of Oregon voters said no. 33% said yes. Let's get over now to a ballot measure in Eugene. Measure 2222 is from the Eugene 4J School District, and it asks voters to renew a 5-year local option levy, $40 million for general school operations. Right now, this one not close as well. 75% of voters said yes. We bring in now KEZI 9 News reporter Sarah Hurwitz. She is live in Eugene. She was at a watch party tonight as they kind of soaked in all these numbers. Sarah, how was it?
Well, it was certainly a packed house here tonight. Not only 4J school board members, but a number of folks from campaigns were fired up as the numbers began to trickle in. Like I mentioned, 4J school board members were here for that levy, in support of the levy, and which looks like it's going to pass with flying colors. The levy will provide about $8 million a year to help fund 4J school operations. That's equivalent to about 80 teachers or 16 school days. And teachers say, speaking from experience, it's good to help students get the attention that they deserve.
I think it's a big relief because most teachers are struggling with the fact that their class sizes or caseload sizes are really high. And I think this gives them an opportunity to know that there's some relief in sight and that they have some continued support. I think it also means a tremendous amount that the community supports schools. And I think that really is a huge relief. They feel, all the teachers that I've talked to feel tremendous support, and they feel really positive that the vote is as strong as it is.
Now, this will be the fourth time that voters have approved the levy since 2000. And like I mentioned, a lot of familiar faces here tonight, including Representative Peter DeFazio, who's also focused on the future of education, something that the 4J school district will continue to push for. Live in Eugene, Sarah Hurwitz, KEZI 9 News.
Thank you, Sarah. Now to Springfield, where voters also deciding whether to help Springfield School District improve schools there. Measure 2226 would approve a $71.5 million bond to renovate classrooms and replace Hamlin Middle School. As of right now, still very tight, separated by just a few hundred votes here. 52% of the voters in Springfield are approving this bond right now. KEZI 9 News reporter Stacey Kafka live in Springfield tonight with reaction from that watch party. Stacey?
Springfield school supporters gathered here at the district office today to watch as election results came in. Even though the bond measure is passing with for the Springfield School District within a few hundred votes, school board members say they're optimistic this bond measure will pass. If it does, all schools in the district will see improvements and Hamlin Middle School would be replaced. This is the second time the district has put a bond measure in the hands of voters, and they're optimistic about it passing.
We are very hopeful in spite of the fact that it's a close margin. We were in this position before, and it was not a favorable result. And I have to say that we are very excited that it's showing positive results so far, and we hope that this trend will continue when the end result comes in.
Very hopeful and confident, I think, that this thing is going to pass, which is great news. I think I'm looking forward to this passing and being able to implement some of the things that we can with the bond measure.
Supporters say they think this bond has a better chance of passing than last year's measure because they worked harder to inform the public about it. Now, if this bond passes, minor improvements to the schools, including some technology improvements, could start as early as this winter, and then it could take about 2.5 years to 3 years to replace Hamlin Middle School. Live in Springfield, Stacey Kafka, KEZI 9 News.
Thank you, Stacey. Now to Measure 2229. That is a renewal of the 5-year levy for the Crow Applegate Lorain School District. It passed overwhelmingly, in fact, with 71% of the votes coming in for the measure. And back to Springfield, City Council Ward 6, tight race, but as of this hour, Joe Piscineri is leading Denise Bean 51% to almost 48%. And voters in Springfield were asked to amend the city charter to allow city councilors and the mayor to receive a monthly monetary stipend for their service. It is not getting support from Springfield voters. The measure is failing 55% to 44%. And as we take a look now at Measure 2228, that is the Santa Clara Rural Fire Protection District levy. That looks like it is passing 57% to 43% said no.